If you're accidentally caught in a rip current, don't try to fight it and swim straight back to the shore. You'll just get exhausted too soon. Instead, try to swim parallel to the shore until you exit the current, and only then move toward the shore. If you're trapped on thin ice and there's no one to help you, lie down on your stomach and spread out your arms and legs. If you have ice picks, use them as a grip to get back to safety. If you don't have them, then you'll have to roll away in the same direction you came from. This will help to spread out the weight of your body evenly. If you're in a sinking vehicle, you'll probably try to just open the door, but water pressure won't let you. You can do it only when the car is filled with water and the pressure equalizes. If you're stuck, break the window. But do it the right way. Hit the window not in the center but on the edges. If you manage to remove the headrest from the seat, then use it to break the glass. The headrests are different depending on the car model, so make sure you know how to remove the ones in your car. If someone is keeping you against your will and your hands are tied by a cable tie, first untie your shoelaces. Slip one of them through the cable tie loop and then secure it to the other shoelace tightly. Now, keeping your hands close to your chest, kick both legs as if you're cycling. The friction created by these movements should make the cable tie snap. If you hear the security announcement while traveling by plane and the emergency exits are made known, be sure to count how many rows it will take to get to the closest one. If the plane gets filled with smoke or there's no light during the evacuation, you could count the number of headrests until you reach your exit. Your pre-planned counting could also help others get out. If you're falling from a cliff, do your best to break your way down to several parts. The shorter, the better. Each of the segments will absorb some impact of the fall, and you'll have much higher chances of surviving. Try to grab onto a sturdy object like a bush or a rock on your way to the bottom to slow down your movement. A piece of wood or a plank can also be useful. It might help you to soften your fall when you hit the ground. If your pan has caught fire, don't take it outside or try to put the fire out with water. It'll worsen the situation. Cover the flames with a metal lid. This way, you'll take away the source of oxygen. Your movement should be fast but smooth and calm. Remember to keep the lid between yourself and the flames. Leave it on until the pan has cooled. If a fire is tiny and manageable, you can use salt or baking soda to put it out. By the way, using baking powder, flour, and other cooking powders that look like salt or baking soda is a big no-no. They won't help you because their chemical makeup is different. If you find yourself in a panic-stricken crowd, your main task is to create some space around yourself. To do it, keep your hands by your chest, your arms bent at the elbow. Boxers often use this position to protect their vital organs. Don't cross the crowd's path. Move together with it, slowly drifting toward one of its sides. Be careful not to block anyone's way because, in this case, you can be pushed to the ground. If you're with your family, put the kid on your shoulders and let the weaker members of the family go in front of you. This way, you'll be able to control the movement and won't lose anyone. If someone's attacking you from behind on the street, stomp on their foot. Do it with all the strength you have and aim for the top of the foot. It can damage and even break several foot bones, which will make it difficult for the attacker to follow you. Now, if you get locked in a car trunk, try to send an SOS signal to people outside. To do it, look for the taillight's wires. There are usually at least 2 of them for each light. Find something sharp in the trunk and cut one of those wires. When you connect the ends again, the lights will flash. If your car brakes suddenly stop responding, ask the passengers, if you have any, to make sure their seatbelts are buckled. Then turn on the emergency lights. Inform other drivers you're having an emergency by using your car horn and long-range lights. With strong and abrupt moves, press the brake pedal. That's how you can create pressure in the braking system. After that, downshift carefully and put the gear shift into the L position. If your car has a mechanical gearbox, press the clutch pedal. After that, use manual brakes, but do it very slowly. A sudden movement and your car will begin to drift. To slow your car down, you can also try to turn left and right going from one row to another. Alright Houdini, I hope you'll never find it useful, but it's always good to know your way out. Use any kind of wire-like material. Even paper clips or hairpins will do the job. Put the end of the wire into the keyhole and bend it at a right angle. Then pull it out a bit and bend it in the other direction. Then stick it into the very edge of the keyhole following all the bends. Move it around a bit and it will eventually open the lock. Trust me. How do I know this? That's a good question. Assuming you don't have anything sharp around and can't use your teeth, you can still free yourself using only your shoelaces. Untie your shoes and make a loop with laces around your left foot. Then pull a shoelace around the rope and tie the end of it to your right foot. Move your legs as if you were riding a bicycle. This way the shoelace will eventually cut the rope with friction and you'll break free. We won't ask how you got that way in the first place. If you spotted a shark in the water, it doesn't mean it's going to attack. If it passes by in the distance in a straight line, you have all the chances to get calmly away to the beach. Just don't start to panic and move steadily. If the shark is going your way in zigzags, then you know you're in trouble. But you can fight back. The weakest spots on a shark's head are gills and eyes. Most sharks won't try to fight you. They'll just swim away. That really bites. First of all, have some clothes on. No, wait, that's a different spelling of bear. Never mind. Let's talk about the animal kind of bear. First, don't provoke the bear. They naturally don't see humans as their prey if they aren't starving after a long winter's nap. If you run, you're telling them that you are food. Move slowly and always leave an escape route for the bear. Try to make yourself look bigger than you are. Spread your coat wide, stand on your tiptoes, but don't be aggressive. Just make the bear think that it's better for it to go mind its own business. If you're calling an emergency service, first of all, give them your address. Only after that should you explain the reason for your call. In this case, even if something or somebody forces you to end the conversation, the operator will already know where to send help. If you get disoriented after diving and can't figure out which way you should swim to get back to the surface, exhale. The bubbles will start to rise, and all you have to do is to follow them. Any scratch or bite received from a wild animal can lead to rabies. Within 10 to 15 minutes after the accident, you should thoroughly wash the wound and rush to a hospital. Every next hour lowers your chances of survival. If you're crossing the road and see a bright sun reflection on the windshield of an oncoming car, chances are the driver won't see you. Let them pass, even if, according to the road rules, you have the right-of-way. Always plug your nose when you jump into a lake or a pond from high up feet first. The water could be swarming with dangerous one-celled animals, and the most horrifying among them is something known as the brain-eating amoeba. If you don't plug your nose, this amoeba can get into your nasal cavity with a powerful stream of water. From there, it can reach your brain and, as you may guess from its name, this won't end well. On the other hand, if you simply swallow this one-celled organism, it won't harm you whatsoever. Okay, it's getting dark and you've got that gut feeling as if someone's after you. The first thing you might want to do is to start walking slightly faster. This trick can help you either get rid of the suspicious person behind you or confirm your worst fear. Now it's official. There's somebody dogging you. Your heart rate is insane. The heart pumps your blood as never before. Try to make turns. 3 or 4 right turns are enough to bring you back to your starting position. This trick will do 2 things. First, you'll have a chance to disappear, especially if you know the neighborhood well. Second, you'll once again confirm this person is after you. Try to take those turns wisely. The moment you make one, start running to make the follower lose sight of you. Don't do that if you've never been to this area. The odds aren't in your favor. You're more likely to get lost, or worse, get trapped in a dead end. You might get lucky and meet someone you know in the street, like your beefy neighbor with that Rottweiler you're kind of afraid of. If there are some people walking by, even if you've never seen them before, just say loudly, "Hey there!" Basically pretend you're friends. Tell them someone is following you and ask them if they can walk with you to a more public area until you find another way to get home. A big no is to enter your condo when you've been followed, even if a group of people are offering to help. Sounds creepy, but your street follower will probably remember where you live and might want to come back later. But let's consider you're not lucky. The street is deserted, there's only you and that creepy person behind. Make sure your clothes won't let you down. If you're wearing a hoodie, tuck the hood down the back of your jacket to hide it. If your hair is up in a ponytail or bun, let it down as you walk. It'll be harder for your follower to grab your entire set of hair or pull your clothes if they have nothing to hold on to. Your clothes and shoes can actually help you escape if you were caught by a stranger. You can try to squeeze out of a jacket, hopefully you've got the front zip kind. High-heeled shoes seem to have been designed for self-protection, certainly not for walking. One of the most effective techniques to save yourself when you're being attacked is the foot stomp. Stamp with all your strength you've got on the top of your stalker's foot. Sounds rough, but it will definitely draw their attention to more urgent stuff. Flat shoes will work too, but they're obviously less effective. You gotta shake that stranger off. If you aren't far away from the busy road you just left, you can pretend you've forgotten something. Pat your pockets, act like you're looking for something. Say out loud, "Shoot, where's my wallet?" Don't go, "Look for the phone." The stranger's gonna think you don't have it, which makes it easier to catch you. Also, never say that you've lost your keys. They'll come in handy later. Now, start walking even faster in the opposite direction. Your stalker will be less likely to pursue someone who's running towards a busy road. Bonus! They were probably after your wallet, not you. They aren't really that likely to dog someone who doesn't have money.
You're getting hungry, but you don't have anything to start a fire with. Empty your pockets. There might be something in there that you can use as a makeshift fire starter. If you have a battery and a metal chewing gum wrapper, you're in business. Cut a thin strip of the wrapper, long enough to connect the two sides of the battery. The middle of the strip should be thinner than the ends. Grab some dry grass, twigs, or even some paper, whatever you're going to use to start your fire. The foil strip should ignite right away, so make sure you're ready. A human can go surprisingly long without food, but not water. Depends where you are, but a lot of the time, it might not be safe to drink. You can make a DIY water filter. Start with a fire. Boiling the water may not be enough, so as soon as those ashes are cool, grind them into a powder. Don't just use any ash you randomly found in the forest. It might have some melted plastic on it or something. Then, you need a plastic bottle. Cut off the bottom and poke a small hole in the cap. Turn it upside down, put about 3 inches of charcoal in, and pour the boiled water in nice and slowly. The drips are ready to drink. If you're getting bits of ash in the water, wrap a piece of clean cloth around the cap for some extra filtration. A char cloth can come in handy if you're lost in the wild. To make it, you're going to need a metal container with a cover. Put a piece of cloth inside it and put the container into a fire for a few minutes. The cloth should end up getting a bit black around the edges, but still be intact. A char cloth catches fire super fast, even with an old school flint. If you're ever hiking in an anaconda's backyard, listen up. Stay away from shallow rivers because these giant snakes love to hang out there. If an anaconda decides to give you a little squeeze, don't exhale. Every time you do, the snake's gonna squeeze you a little bit tighter. Anacondas do have a weak spot though. They don't like their tail to be bitten. It's not exactly delicious, but it'll get the job done. Avalanches are pretty powerful, so remember these tips next time you're out on the slopes if things get a bit hairy. First off, cover your mouth. Use a scarf or some other piece of cloth, and don't let the snow in. Keep one arm straight above your head, and don't forget to dig out a little pocket in front of your face. That'll let you breathe for about a half hour. Get rid of anything heavy you're carrying, even if it's expensive. But make sure you hold onto your backpack. It's an extra layer of protection. And grab onto a tree if you see any. To get back to the surface, move like you're swimming straight up. Snow's just water anyway.